I've said quite a few times on this channel that my favourite effect you can achieve in the reverse glass process is from acid etching. I'd say my second favourite process is glue chipping, and I think the reason these two things look so beautiful is they just add depth to a piece. You know, as you walk around it, all of the sort of little contours catch the light, and it just, it sort of brings it alive. So in this video, I'm going to try to make a piece that adds even more depth. So I'm going to be using the acid etching process, but I'm going to be layering this up to try and make a sort of 3D gold sign, I suppose. But before I crack on with that, if you're a fan of reverse glass, sign painting, gold leaf, digital processes and much more, then you're in the right place, because that's all this channel's about. And I try to release a video every couple of weeks. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. You can now try it for 7 days to see if it's going to be worth your money. It's $3 a month, and I provide things like vector files, old PDF versions of out-of-print books, and just bits and bobs throughout the month. There's also a link to buy me a coffee if you ever fancy buying me a drink. The Facebook group, which I think we're over 1,300 strong now, all really good artists on there helping each other out. And what else? My Etsy shop. That's it, I think. So anyway, that out of the way, let's crack on with it. Okay, so just going to go through what we need to make this piece. Firstly, 2 bits of glass. Well, a minimum of 2 bits of glass. I say minimum because this just depends. Once you've seen what this technique is, you can sort of go a bit more elaborate by adding different panes to it, but for the purpose of the video and the demo, I'm just going to do it with 2 pieces of glass. You're going to need a relatively deep frame, so something that will fit your 2 bits of glass and a backing board in it. 2 different shades of gold. I'm going for just standard 23 karat gold and lemon gold. This isn't essential. You know, if you've just got 1 shade of gold, this will be fine. I just think it's going to look nicer by having the kind of, the slightly different tones. Then you're going to need 2 different designs. So in this case, a foreground and a background. So it doesn't matter if you're an experienced designer. All I've done here is I went on a site called Vecteezy, where you can type in a kind of keyword of a style that you like, find a load of free vector backgrounds, or not even backgrounds, just vector files. I downloaded a background. I then went on to Da Font, which is a free font website, and I've gone with an Art Deco font called Betty Noir, and combined the 2 together. So I've got my background file, which is the Art Deco pattern, and then my foreground, which is just the word bar written in the Betty Noir font. So I've got those prepped. All I did is my usual process of putting that through Vinyl Master so it's vectorized, cutting it into a self-adhesive piece of vinyl. Got them now, so I'm just going to apply them to the bits of glass, pick out the bits that I'm going to etch. So I'll just time lapse through that, and then we'll crack on to the next bit. So next step is to etch the exposed areas of the glass panels. I'm going to be using hydrofluoric acid, but I've done a video which uses substitute products which are a bit easier to get your hands on and much less dangerous. So I'm going to put a link to that video up here, and I'll put a link in the description as well. Even with that, you need to be very, very careful using any sort of acid, so I'll always cover myself up as much as possible. So that's rubber gloves, an apron, goggles, definitely, and on hand, I've always got some burn cream. With hydrofluoric acid, it's different to other acids in that it doesn't just leave a sort of burn on your skin. If that sort of gets into your bloodstream, it's poisonous. And it doesn't take a very small amount of it to be fatally poisonous. So having this stuff at hand, as well as taking all of these sort of safety precautions or safety measures, is a must. So one other thing is I've masked off the back of the glass. So here I've got the bit I'm going to etch, and I always mask off the back. And that's because even the fumes from the acid can, mark the glass. They can also harm your inside. So you want to be in a ventilated area when you're doing this sort of thing. So I'm going to do the rest as a time lapse, or not the rest of the video, but the rest of the etching process. And then we'll come back and start sort of layering this up and making it into a nice 3D sign. So that's come out really nice. The background panel, I don't need to do anything else to for now. But what I've done is revealed some more parts of this design. That is the drop shadow and the border. And I'm going to be painting these and using the vinyl as a mask that I'll then peel away. So it sounds straightforward, and it is, but it's also something that's quite easy to get wrong. And that's because if you wait for the paint to dry or even go sticky, when you peel that up, it's going to leave a kind of sharp ridge. And that means when you apply gold leaf, it's very difficult to get it to kind of sit in those sharp ridges. So what I'm going to be doing is gradually painting this, and then as soon as I've sort of painted an area, I'm going to remove the vinyl. And that means that paint will sort of settle and you'll have a nice sort of clean edge when you apply your gold leaf. Also makes it a lot easier to clean before gilding because you're not going to have any sharp edges that might catch bits of paper in or something like that. Another tip is I always like to score little areas. When I'm doing little fine areas like these, sort of what will be the bright lines, if I just sort of cut a corner here, that means when I do that paint, that's going to be so much easier to pick a bit and sort of peel it around rather than picking it and the whole thing comes up. So I'm going to do that on all of the sort of little bits where there's a corner, and I'm going to do it on this sort of big space here because this is going to be a black border and I don't want to have to then figure out how I'm going to peel this great big bit of vinyl away. So I'm just going to put some scores through this at some sort of logical places. So just going up to maybe the corner, that's going to make that a lot easier to remove rather than taking it in one great big bit. So again, I'm going to switch to time lapse to do that, and then we'll move on to the kind of cleaning and the gilding. All right. Right, so what I'm doing now is just giving that a second coat of paint, and that's because if you can see light through it, there's a potential that you'll be able to see gold through it when you've gilded it. I've made that mistake before, where you think it's all right, you think it's solid enough, and it even looks nice when you're finished, but then, light catches it, and then all of a sudden the piece, which had really nice sharp edges, it just looks like a sort of blurry mess. This does require a little bit of a steady hand, but if those who follow my channel know, I'm not blessed with a steady hand. So I'll be going out the lines loads during this, and if I do, it doesn't matter. People don't mind the odd imperfection here and there, and it just gives it character. But if that sort of thing does bother you, if you go out the lines and you think, no, I hate it, it's easy to tidy up as well. You can, if it's a sort of sharp edge, you can use a blade, just kind of hold a sort of Stanley blade, get it close, and then just shave the edge off where that you're not happy with. Or, I'm working with dry paint here in terms of the first layer that I've done. So if you make a massive mistake, like just put your brush across the whole piece, then all you do is get a Q-tip with some white spirit and just tidy that up. It won't affect the dry paint, but it'll easily remove the wet paint where you've made your mistake. So yeah, I'll just finish this off and then we're on to the gilding. All right, so I thought I may as well just show you the cleanup job because, yeah, there is a few bits to clean up. Looking here at the bottom of the B, I kind of went out the lines there and there's a little bit of a bump over here on this corner. That needs a bit of a tidy up. So all I'm going to do is I've got just a flat blade, a Stanley blade will do, and I'm just going to line it up where I want it, hover it over the little bit that needs to go, and then that's it. I know you won't be able to see that bit, maybe you'll be able to see this bit a little bit. easier. So there, much neater. And I think everything else is all right. You know, it's not perfect, but I'm not fussed about minor imperfections. That would have just bothered me, that little bump. So yeah, now I can crack on and start cleaning it and gilding it. Right, nearly there. So I'm now just going to gild the foreground panel, and for that I'm going to use 23 karat gold. I'm choosing this to be the foreground because it's a much richer colour than the lemon gold, and I want it to sort of stand out a little bit more. So I'm not going to do this as a gilding tutorial because I've done a fair few of those, but we'll say that I'm going to be using what I'll call the Joe Balabusco method, which Joe is a sort of veteran glass artist, and we've been in contact a few times, and his method of gilding, when it sort of showed me it, has sort of changed how I do things. And if you want to check out Joe's channel, I'll put a link in the description of the video, and I'll also put a link to my video where I sort of cover his method and sort of using different types of gold leaf. So I'm going to be using my own gilding tips that, again, I can link that video as well where I made these and this cushion. So when you've got a piece like this with a border, I'm going to do these 3 sections of the border first, and that's so that if I did the letters first and then I applied the border at the top, the size is going to run down and sort of agitate the gold leaf on there. So in this case, I just need to chop the leaf up. So I'll start this bit just talking through it, but then again I'll switch to a time lapse just because, as I said, I've done lots and lots of gilding tutorials, so I don't want to just keep making videos with the repeated content in, because I think people might get a little bit bored of that. So just charge a tip on the back of my hand, pick that up. Okay, the end's in sight. All I've got to do now is back up the gold. And I strongly advise using something that's clear when you're backing up gold leaf. It's not such a risk on kind of mirror finish or even acid etch, but certainly with glue chipped glass, you'd never get leaf into every little sort of crevice that the glue sort of makes into the glass. And if you back that up with black paint, that'll seep in there and it just doesn't look as nice. Well, it can ruin it. So what I'm using is this one-shot UV speed dry. Now, I put off buying this for years. I used to always buy just those tiny little £3 pots of clear enamel that you use for model kits. The reason I put off buying this for years is because it's 50 quid a tin, but it's brilliant. It lasts so long. Well, I mean, it's nearly full still. It dries super quick. You know, it's really strong. So I recommend getting some. If you're going to take up this as a hobby, this will last, well, ages. So what I'm going to do is back up anything with the gold that I want to keep. So in this case, anything that's in the letters and that tiny thin border. Certainly not going to go out the lines because I want to get rid of all of this sort of excess gold outside the letters. When it comes to the background, just going to cover the whole thing. So that, yeah, just a big paintbrush, slap this stuff on. But for now, with this one, I'm just going to, make sure I'm going over the gold. And this, because we've got the black outline, You know, this doesn't require a massively steady hand, but we want to apply it quite thick because, you know, when we remove the gold, you do sort of have to, you know, give it a good scrub, and don't want to kind of risk rubbing away anything and having to re-gild it. You know, it's unlikely that you'll be able to rub through this speed dry enamel, but better to be safe than sorry, I think. So I'd apply it liberally. Right, so the last thing to do before getting it cleaned up and framing it is removing that excess gold. I'm going to use just some wet wipes because this is quite a basic design. If you've got designs with loads and loads of intricate bits, it's best to use like well, they're called gilder's brushes, but it's really just a clothes brush. So just as you sort of rub it around, and it means the bristles get into the really little areas, and you don't have to scrub around sort of quite intricate bits that might ordinarily come off. So yeah, I'm just going to use, well, these should be wet wipes, they're bone dry, so I'm just going to make them wet by dipping them in some water. And then all you're doing is applying an alright amount of pressure, you know, just rubbing until the gold's gone. And that's it really. So I'll just keep rotating it because, you know, the gold does sort of end up staying in it. But that's it. You can see it a little bit clearer if I do it on one of the letters rather than that edge border. There you go, see, really nice and sharp where that paint is holding it on there. Yeah, so just going to go ahead and clear all that off. And then the other thing, what I'm going to do before I clean it all, or after I clean it all, it doesn't matter, is apply something to the corners. Now these are like just little sort of stick-on rubber feet. I use these for sort of the bottom of lamps and stuff like that, but you could use anything. You know, you could use these things which normally come when you buy plate glass. It's just something so that the background piece is going to be separate from it and you have a little space. Yeah, that's that. So just going to crack on with this and then it's ready to frame.